Hey TinkerCAD challengers, this is the month of October and we're going to be making pumpkins using code blocks. So a little bit about this pumpkin. This was created all with different ring designs. In the video you're going to learn how to do your own as well as how to take your design to the next level. So these are just the pumpkin within the pumpkin design. There's another design where it's the basic one ring. So these have a couple different inter rings to them. There's one that's just say the outline, the outside rings only, and I added a stem, which I will show you how to do in the video. But if you want to keep it stem free, you can see how it's just going to be a round object. It could be even an apple if you wanted to make it an apple. So this is the pumpkin code blocks. Once again, whenever you're finished, let me know and I will print out any color that we have. This is the neon orange. Oh, another thing is this webbing in between. This was caused by the 3D printer as it moved back and forth, so you won't see this when you create your pumpkin, but I wanted to keep it because I thought the design was pretty cool. Typically, I remove these with a needle point pliers, so that's something you can do at home. And in the inside, you can sort of see it's like a spiral effect, so it's really neat. And I hope you enjoy making this. Whenever you're ready, like I said, email me. If you have any questions or need any one-on-one tutorials, email me. Let me know what you need help with, and we can set up an appointment that you can come in and learn how to make this on one of our laptops. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed Code Block. Once again, this is October. Make a pumpkin with Code Block, so I hope you enjoy. Thanks and have fun tinkering. Okay, I have my page open and I have create code blocks and let's get started. Before we do anything, let's change our file. It's a good way to practice any type of program or something you have to save in the computer. You always want to change your file name so you can better organize them. Let's change this to code block pumpkin. So I'm going to scroll all the way at the bottom here, and we're going to create a new object. So I'm grabbing that and putting it all the way at the top here. But we also want to make a couple variables first. So this is the thing that changed recently. We're going to click on create variable, and we're going to call one frames. We're going to create another variable, and this one will be rotation. And now I want to drag the set frames to, I'm going to change this to 12. Grab another one of these, set rotation to 360. Okay, now I want to grab, we're going to do the overall shape, which is going to be a cylinder. So we want to go up all the way to the top and grab a cylinder. Open up that menu. Radius will be 20. Height will be 3.5. Size will be 360. Edge will be 1. And edge steps will be 360. I'm going to grab another cylinder, and this one's going to be the hole. So this one's going to make all the design cutouts of it. So make sure you click on that gray stripes and open up the menu. Change this to 16. Height will be 20. Size will be 360. Edge and edge steps will not change, so 0 and 1. And now we're going to create them as a group so that they actually do what they need to do. And grab the rotate block, plug that at the bottom. This will be axis X by 75. And then we're going to grab a move block, plug that in. In X, type in 8, and Y is going to be 0, and then in Z will be 20. So that's our pretty much our basic shape for that one. Let's play it, and you'll see how it's going to be created. Okay, so I got that ring. Now we're going to do a spiraling effect to it. So we're going to grab this count width, plug that in, I from, and then we have to go all the way down to frames, put in variables where it says 10 by 1. Now I'm going to scroll up and find copy. Grab copy, plug that in under that. You can change the color if you want to. And then we're going to grab that rotate, plug that under that. And we're going to change axis X to axis Z. And now we're going to grab a arithmetic block because we're going to do some math here. So there's going to be rotation in the first one divided by frames. We're going to take this set and put that where it says 90 degrees. From pivot, and we want to put the locator block in there, even though we're not going to put a location. And then we're going to find, scroll up a little bit, going to the move, plug that in under there. changing Y to 2. Let's play this to see what happens. It's supposed to go spiral all the way around. I don't know if it just glitched in my computer or if something actually happened. Okay, so it's just my computer glitch for a second. I just replayed it and it looks fine. Okay, so this is going to be the basic shape for the pumpkin. If you want to leave with something like this, you can definitely move on to make the stem and you'll be done. Or there's another cool thing we can do. We can create a pumpkin within the pumpkin. So I will show you that part right now as I continue along with this code blocks project. So first thing we're going to do is create a group and plug it in at the bottom here. And then I want to create a copy. So I'm putting the copy in here and then scale. So we're making a smaller pumpkin. We're just going to scale this down a little bit. So 0.8 in X, 0.8 in Y, and Z will stay the same. And then we're going to create another variable. And this is going to be called inner shape rotation. Grab set, inner shape rotation, and we're going to grab that arithmetic block, putting it off to the side for now. I'm grabbing rotation, plugging that in, changing this to divide, and I'm going to change this number to 2 and put this in right there. And then look up here for rotation, changing axis X to axis Z, and we're going to do another arithmetic block, inner shape rotation, divided by frames, and then I'm going to plug this into here. Okay, and so let's see what happens. Okay, went a little too fast on that, but you can kind of see it kind of has a smaller pumpkin on the inside. So it kind of gives it more of like a design, cool looking design to it. It looks really neat. So this is it. This is the basic way to make a pumpkin and then how to make a pumpkin within a pumpkin. So let's move on and I'm going to show you some other ways you can tweak this a little bit and add a stem, but we'll see how this works. So I'm just going to export this and I'm going to export it as a shape. So this way I can just open it up in TinkerCAD and I'm going to name this pumpkin and I'm going to move this off. Okay. I'm just going to take this and export it as well and see if that could do, I could do anything else different with that. Pumpkin 1. I'm just naming generic things. There's nothing really specific I'm naming it. So now we're done with that. I'm going to click on TinkerCAD, the logo at the top left. And I'm going to go into Create 3D Design. And in Basic Shapes, go up into Your Creations. Okay, so here are my 2 pumpkins. I'm just going to drag them onto here, and you'll see what we can do. Okay, so now let me look for something with a stem. I wonder if I don't know if there's anything pre-made with a stem. Okay, I figured there wouldn't be. We can go to, I mean, there's really anything you can make a stem out of this. Let me look at shape generators. I like going in there. You can get very detailed things. You do something like this one. And I'm trying to just place it on top. And I'm going to just change this angle. So I was just playing around to see all the different features. I'm changing the angle on this. I'm going to bring it into the middle. I might have to rotate it. When I placed it, I think I placed it on one of the loops. We want to make sure it's nice and centered there. Rotate it again. And once again, just using my keyboard keys to make sure it's in the middle. So here's where you can really just play around with, see how you want your stem. So this is a SVG revolver. It's a really nice shape that's a circular shape that can move in many different directions. And really, it's a matter of playing with the menu to see what kind of direction you want to do with this. Is it going to be very smooth? Yes. So let's see if there's other shapes in here that we can play around with. This one might not be a bad choice either. I'm just going to place it at the bottom here because of this being round is trying to kind of situate itself on the loops, and I really just want it to be in the middle. I'm moving it over to the center, and I'm just going to bring it straight up. So what I'm picturing this as like the certain particular pumpkins that have the really rigid stems, the ones that have a lot of and here you can change the top diameter. So here you could like get the diameter so small it kind of overlaps it. Bottom diameter I'm also gonna make a little bit smaller because so as you see in here, I can see the stem in here, and I really did want to do that, so I want to try to make this smaller. Here's how I like it to look, kind of like it's an actual stem that has a little bit of uh edging to it. The only thing that here we go, a nice little star shape. It does look really straight though, so that we'll give it that. That's not the proper, I guess, pumpkin look. A lot of the stems are not usually straight. Like this one would probably be the closest. But it's really up to you how you want your pumpkin to look. You don't have to follow what I'm doing. You can just look at all the different shapes and see what kind of stem you want to add to your pumpkin.
Okay, everyone, so this is what I came up with in terms of the stem and the two pumpkins. This is called the gear shape, so if you're looking for something like this, there's another one down here, which is a pro gear as well. I'm just going to change the color so you can see a little bit better. Remember that we only printed one color, unfortunately for now, but if you want to keep it as an orange, we have oranges, yellows, reds, pinks, blues, and green. So oh, as well as transparent, black and white. So if any of those colors appeal to you and that's what you want your pumpkin to be, it doesn't have to be orange. You can have any color you want. So pick whichever design you want, whichever code block. I'm going to print it as big as what I showed you in the beginning of the video. So it's about 4 inches across and maybe 3 to 4 inches high, depending on how your stem is. So keep that in mind as we go along and print this. It would be a cute little centerpiece for your table if you want to show off to your family around Thanksgiving or Halloween time. It's a great item to put on display. And if you have any questions, let me know. Oh, and do remember to change your file name. So I'm going to change this to pumpkin code. I have another pumpkin on here, so I'm choosing this one, pumpkin SS, my initials, to pumpkin code. And I ask you to do the same so I know which one I'm printing out. It just makes it a little easier for me. And yeah, so once again, that is if you export your shapes and look in your creations, your pumpkins should be on here. These are some examples of previous ones I've had that I put them in shapes. Then we went to shape generators and found out that the SVG revolver, which is this stem, worked out pretty well, as well as the gear, which is in the same one. So I hope you enjoy tinkering and enjoy making a pumpkin with code blocks.